Hey, how's it going? My name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a huge birthday book haul. Because I recently just had a birthday. My birthday was on January 18th and I turned 28 years old, which is wild to say. But I had a really incredible birthday and I just wanted to say thank you so much to anybody who wished me a happy birthday or made me feel special in any way on that day. I just love this community of bookish friends that I have here on the internet, and there's not a day that I take for granted any of our friendships. And I was fortunate enough to receive so many books on my birthday, not only from like friends and family, but also from a lot of you as well from my Amazon wishlist, which is just so exciting, and there's so much to get through. Before we do jump into the birthday book haul though, I wanted to say a huge thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. It's the new year and HelloFresh is here to help you achieve your goals for this new year. You can skip the grocery store and take control of your time and your budget by getting delicious meals delivered right to your door. I think HelloFresh is such a great way to save money on groceries because you're not going to be buying tons of bulk for things that you don't really need that much of, because with HelloFresh it's so nice because they'll send you pre-proportioned ingredients of everything that you need to make these meals so that there's less food waste, which is not only good for the world, but it's also good for your wallet. HelloFresh is not only cheaper than grocery shopping, but it's also 25% less expensive than takeout. They have over 35 different weekly meals that you can choose from, and there really is something for everyone. And something that I really like too is that you can really customize these meals to be something that fits you. So say you can like swap out a protein, you can swap out a veggie, you can make it customizable to how you like it, which I think is something that's really unique. I always feel like too, because I'm someone who doesn't cook super often and I don't have a lot of knowledge about cooking, but I feel like I always learn so much every time I make a meal with HelloFresh. Like for example, last night me and my sister, we made this Italian chicken over lemony spaghetti with zucchini and chili flakes, and this was so freaking good. Like, this is not the usual way that I like to make spaghetti. Like, I've never really tried making it in this way before, but it was so easy. It was so simple. I thought it would take long. It didn't take long. We always know that when we make dinner with HelloFresh that it's gonna be a winner because everyone in my family loves HelloFresh. You can go to HelloFresh.com and use my code gabbyreads21 for 21 free meals plus free shipping. Isn't that incredible? Going to HelloFresh.com using my code gabbyreads21 and getting 21 free meals and free shipping. That's a lot of free food. Amazing. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get into the book haul. Alright, so the first two books that I got this month came from Book of the Month. The first one is Lunar Love, which this is one of their romance picks, and this one sounds so cute because it involves, I think both of them are matchmakers. It says their businesses go head to head and they make a deal. They'll find a match for each other and whoever falls in love loses. Like, does that not sound so freaking adorable? I've been hearing good things about this one so far, so I'm really excited to check out this. And then also I got What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall, and this was one of the thriller picks for the month of January. This one, it says they were 11 when they sent a killer to prison. They were heroes, but they were liars. And I guess it's about these young girls who, like, you know, 22 years ago they were attacked in the woods, but they might have like lied about what actually happened. And so now we're getting the story like years in the future of them trying to come to terms with what actually happened. Secrets are being unveiled. I'm so excited to read this, and I'm actually going to be reading this a little bit later this year. Wink wink, nudge nudge. I'm going to be waiting a couple months to read this one, but I'm very excited to get to this one. Next up, Atria Books sent me a fat stack of books this month. One of the ones they sent me is The Reunion by Kayla Olson. They actually sent me an ARC copy of this, and then they sent me a finished copy as well. And this is one that I am so excited about and curious to read because all I know about it is that we follow this woman named Liv, and she grew up on TV. She was the star of this popular teen drama called Girl on the Verge, and now it's taking place 20 years after the show's premiere, and a major streaming service has invited the original cast back for a reunion special. And then it's like a romance, I think, between her and one of the co-stars on the show. So like, you know, actors, romance, reunions, I love to see it. I'm excited. I can't wait to read it. And then Atria also sent me All the White Spaces by Allie Wilkes, and this is one that I'm really excited to read. This is like a thriller horror book that features a trans main character, and I'm actually reading this with my friend Jessie for their NB book club in the month of January. So I'll be reading this one very soon, and I'll have Jessie's channel linked down below so you can follow the information for the book club. But I'm going to be reading this very soon, and then I think we're doing a live show for it in early February. But this one sounds really interesting. It takes place place in Antarctica in 1920, I think. And it says we follow this character Jonathan, who stows away on an Antarctic expedition determined to find his rightful place in the world of men. Jonathan may finally live his true self and his true gender, but when disaster strikes, the men must overwinter somewhere that immediately seems eerie and wrong. Completely isolated, the crew has no means of contacting the outside world and no one is coming to rescue them. This one sounds like it's gonna be very intense. And then Atria also sent me a copy of Beartown by Frederick Bachman, which this is actually a book that I have read. This is the cover of I think it's the HBO series. Yeah, it's an HBO series apparently. I haven't seen the show. Beartown is one of my favorite books and I didn't actually own a copy, so I was super stoked to get this copy from Atria. And this one is a story that's about a small town who's like really obsessed with hockey, and like their hockey team is like the pride of the town. And the blurb on this just says, now its junior ice hockey team has a chance to become the champions, but it's what happens off the ice that will change this town forever. And this book is really feminist and really powerful and really touching and very hard to read. And this is actually something that I would love to reread in the future, so I'm so glad to have a copy now. And then Atria also sent A History of Fear, and this is one that I've been so excited to check out. I'm really loving this cover. It looks very like Dracula vibes is what I'm getting from the cover. But this one just says it's an eerie literary suspense debut tracing the harrowing downfall of a tortured graduate student who's been nicknamed the Devil's Advocate for his sensational crime, murdering a classmate, then claiming the devil made him do it. Ooh, I don't know why this is giving like vampire vibes, but I guess it also could give like devil vibes. I don't know. We also have a blurb up here from Paul Tremblay, which makes me equally excited and nervous. All right, and then Berkeley Romance sent me 2 of their upcoming romances. We've got X's and O's by Amy Lee, and this one looks so freaking cute. I mean, really, I do love this cover. I love the yellow and the pink, and this one just says it's about a romance novel obsessed social media influencer who revisits her exes on her hunt for true love. And I've heard that this one involves like a bookstagrammer. Like, I think she has a romance book account on Instagram, so I think she's like a romance bookstagrammer. And I also heard that this one has a lot of like Taylor Swift references, I think. I don't know, I've been hearing some really great things about this one and it just looks so freaking cute, so I can't wait to read this. I'm hoping to read this in February actually. And then they also sent Sorry Bro, which this one is about an Armenian American woman who rediscovers her roots and embraces who she really is in this vibrant and heartfelt queer rom-com. And I think this one is a female-female romance, as you can see on the cover here. I am also kind of obsessed with this cover. I mean, look at this. This is stunning with all these flowers over here. It looks like it takes place in San Francisco. I also love a female-female romance being called Sorry Bro. That is just so freaking cute. I can't wait to read this one. I think this is another one that I want to read in February. Like, I would love to do some kind of like romance-themed reading vlog right around Valentine's Day. That would be fun. Right, and then next up, St. Martin's Press sent me 2 books as well. They sent The Villa by Rachel Hawkins, which is a new release thriller that I actually just recently read. It would probably be my last video that I just posted, is like the reading 3 new thrillers vlog, so I'll link that down below if you missed it. This one, it kind of takes place in Italy in both the present day and in the 1970s. We kind of have 2 timelines going on, and in the present day we're following these 2 friends named Emily and Chess, who are both writers, and they're going to be going to this villa in Italy to like finish writing their books. But then they realize that there might be a sinister past here at this villa that they're staying in. I thought this book was personally fine. It was probably my least favorite Rachel Hawkins that I've read so far. And then they also sent A Guide to Just Being Friends, and this one is a romance novel. This one sounds interesting because in the little press release that came with it, it says this book is When Harry Met Sally meets 500 Days of Summer. What? Also, the love interest in this book, his name is Wes. So honestly, that's probably the reason why I signed up to get this in the first place, because I love the name Wes. Apparently on the note here, it does say that this is the 3rd book in a romantic comedy series that follows the same brothers, I think. But this one is about a woman named Haley Sharp who wants to open her restaurant and will do everything possible to make it a success. And so this one is, I mean, it is friends to lovers, if you couldn't tell from that title, which friends to lovers tends to be a genre that I don't love friends to lovers romances usually, but this one does intrigue me for a number of different reasons, not just because of the name Wes, but that definitely plays a huge part. All right, and then next up, Penguin Teen sent me another Dimension of Us, which this one is a young adult kind of like sci-fi queer book. This one's really interesting because part of the book takes place in 1986, where Tommy is in love with his best friend, but it says at the height of the AIDS crisis and the homophobia that's running rampant across America, he can never share his feelings, and then one terrible night, Ronaldo is struck by lightning and he emerges from the storm a very different boy. And then it also takes place in the year 2044, where a student wakes up after having a strange nightmare about a boy named Tommy in a house in the neighborhood he calls the murder house. And so it's about these boys across time, like they're connected somehow, I think. I don't know, it sounds really cool. I'm just really into young adult gay sci-fi these days, I guess. Like that tends to be a young adult genre that I tend to lean a lot towards these days, especially after loving The Darkness Outside Us as much as I did last year. I feel like I'm like, okay, I clearly need to read some more young adult romance that's like gay sci-fi, so here we are. All right, and then HTP Books sent I Love It When You Lie by Kristen Bird. This one is a new release thriller that's going on sale March 14th, so this one that I have here is an ARC copy, but this one is about these three Williams girls who are as close as sisters can be, but they all have kind of like different secrets and different things going on in their lives. The pastor's wife has been stealing money from the church and would prefer their husband stay out of it, and then there's June, who would do anything to have a baby of her own, even if her husband is dead set against it. And then there's Clementine, the youngest, who is entangled in an affair with her professor, a man whose behavior she's really starting to question. Their sister-in-law, Stephanie, who's an outsider, knows all the family dirt and is watching the three of them and the men in their lives very closely. And then the woman who raised them, their beloved Gran, dies on the eve of her 80th birthday, and the Williams sisters return home to the Appalachian foothills to bury her. Their grandmother won't be the only one they'll put in the grave this weekend, because now someone has gone missing in the dark Appalachian woods. Ooh, this kind of sounds like it's giving almost like Daisy Darker in a way, like just with the sisters and the murder and something's going on. I don't know. This one sounds like it's going to be really fun and it has a really cool premise. I also love the idea of it taking place in the dark Appalachian woods. Like, let's go. All right, and then Penguin Random House sent me 2 of their upcoming books. They sent The Drift by CJ Tudor, which, you know, CJ Tudor is one of my favorite kind of like thriller horror type of authors. This is their latest release, which I am so freaking excited about. And this blurb literally gives nothing. Like, this doesn't tell you anything about the book, but it says 3 ordinary people risk everything for a chance at redemption. But it's interesting because it does say it's a novel of catastrophe and survival at the end of the world. So I'm like, okay, what is going on with this book? Like, I don't feel like I want to read too much. I know it takes place in the snowy mountains and apparently at the end of the world or something like that. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times with these thriller premises, like, I don't want to know too much because I feel like they give away so much sometimes. But oh my god, The Drift! I'm so excited! It's here in my possession. I can't wait. And then they also sent Central Places, which isn't this cover just so gorgeous? It's very yellow and very pink. I'm obsessed. And it says a young woman's stifling past and uncertain future collide when she brings her white fiance home to meet her Chinese immigrant parents, toppling her carefully constructed life in this vibrant, insightful debut from an exciting new voice in fiction. I always love just kind of, I wonder if this is like literary fiction or contemporary stories like this where we follow a character who's bringing home someone to meet their families and then they might clash a little bit in that way. This one also takes place in New York City, so that's another reason why I was like, add it to the list. If it takes place in New York, I will read it. All right, and then the next part of this video is going to be all the books that I received on my birthday from different friends in the community. Some of these were also from Christmas as well because it's been a while since I've done a book haul. But I got 3 books from my friend Brittany. She ended up sending me the Orange Manga Volume 2 collection, or the Complete Collection 2, and so this includes volumes 4 and 5 of Orange, as well as another little like short story. I obviously have read this because there are a million tabs in it, and this is, you know, also a 5-star for me. The Orange manga series is like my new favorite thing in this world, so thank you so much to Brittany for sending me this one. This is a sci-fi romance, kind of like young adult manga series that I highly recommend checking out. She also ended up sending me How to Make Friends with the Dark, and this is one that I feel like I've had on my TBR for such a long time. This one's just a young adult book that deals with loss and deals with grief, and I've heard it's like really moving, really powerful. We're just following this girl whose mother dies, and we're just following her as she's dealing with the loss of losing her mom and grieving. I've heard it's really sad, but also really powerful, and I'm just obsessed with this cover. I love the blue and the like outline of her hair. I don't know, I've always thought this cover was so freaking stunning, and so I'm hoping to read this one at some point this year. Thank you so much to Brittany for sending it my way. And then she also sent me this Schitt's Creek. Oh my gosh, warmest regards. I've always had my eye on this book because they recently released this for like Schitt's Creek fans recently, and this is incredible. It has so much iconic stuff from the show in here. I've just really been enjoying like flipping through all of these pictures, looking at pictures from the show. Like, look at that. Oh my god. I just know that after flipping through this book, it's gonna make me immediately want to rewatch the entirety of Schitt's Creek, because why wouldn't I? Schitt's Creek is just one of my favorite shows of all time, so this is so special. Thank you so much, Brittany. All right, right, and then next up, Erin sent me 2 books. She sent me Winter's Orbit, which this one, again, is a gay sci-fi. I'm just like really into gay sci-fi lately. I don't know. This is one that I feel like I've heard so much about it like over the years, or maybe in like the last year or so. I've just heard Winter's Orbit is like a really well-known, popular sci-fi that people tend to really like. It sounds like it has like a fake marriage kind of situation happening, because it says he's been commanded to fulfill an obligation of marriage to the representative of the Empire's newest and most rebellious vassal planet. His future husband is a widower and a murder suspect. Neither of them wants to be wed, but it seems like something they have to do. So like, oh my gosh, this sounds like exactly the kind of romance that I like when it comes to sci-fi like this. So I can't wait to check this one out. Thank you so much, Erin. And then she also sent Hyperventilation, which this one is a boy love manga. This one is about these 2 boys who meet again at a high school reunion, and one of them was the class president in high school, and then the other one was a victim of a lot of like classroom bullying and stuff like that. So this one looks really interesting. It's also very short. I don't want to flip through it because it says 18 plus on the back, so I'm assuming there might be some 18 plus things in here, but I can't wait to read this one. Thank you so much to Erin. And then speaking of 18 plus things, Hannah sent me Killing Stalking Volume 1, and I've heard that this is very intense and very brutal and very, very adult. Like, this is a hard 18 plus, but this one was actually, it was nominated at the Goodreads Choice Awards. That's how I originally heard about this, and it's actually not a manga, it's a manhwa, I think is how you say it, because it's Korean, and it's read forward, kind of like a regular graphic novel is, I guess, so it's not exactly like manga, but it's comparable. I think this is a story about obsession, and it says the scrawny, quiet man has a crush on one of the most popular and handsome guys in his college, and when the 2 cross paths again, their feelings grow in intensity and they become an obsession. It just seems like it's gonna be a dark time. I don't know if it'll be my thing, but I'm really excited to give this one a try. And then Rain sent me Black Mouth by Ronald Malfi, and this one is a horror novel that's one of the newer horror novels that I've had my eye on recently. This one just sounds like it's gonna be really good. It follows this group of friends. They're connecting again after nearly 2 decades. There was like a series of strange events that happened when they were younger, I guess, and they couldn't ever fully explain it, and now they can't deny the memories of that summer and the terrible act that has followed them all into adulthood. In the light of new danger, they must confront their past by facing the futures and hunting down a man who may very well be a monster. So I can't wait to read this one. I really love the trope of like something happened when they were younger and now they're coming back as adults to like fully discover the secrets of the past kind of thing. I'm really into that and I'm here for that, and I've heard really good things about this one, so I can't wait to read this. And then Ariane ended up sending me The Book of the Most Precious Substance by Sarah Gran, and this is a book that I honestly know next to nothing about it, but I saw it on Kayla, over from Books and Lala. I saw it in her top 10 of the year, and the way that she talked about this book just sounded so interesting. I do think that this falls into the horror genre, like if I had to guess. I honestly don't really know what this one's about though. I've just heard that it's kind of creepy and that it's really freaking weird, and I also see on the back that it talks about sex magic. That's all I really need to know going in. I'm honestly just so excited to check this out. I have read one book from Sarah Gran before. They have a book called Come Closer, and that one's like a horror novella that I read, and I thought it was okay, but I'm definitely willing to give this author another chance because I do really like the writing style. And next up, Case ended up sending me Dark Water, which this is a short story collection that I'm really excited about. It just says a haunting collection of short stories from this Japanese author, and it's actually the same author as The Ring, which is why I'm like, okay, shit. It's so interesting too, because on the back of this, it does say that the first story in this collection has been adapted into a film called Dark Water and another called Adrift. I don't know, I'm just so excited to read this, especially after having so much success last year with the video that I did with like reading more, Japanese thriller and horror type of books. I have such high hopes for this one, and I think my friend Mikay is also really obsessed with this book, and he's a huge reason why I also wanted to add this to my TBR. So thank you so much to Case. I'm hoping to get to this one very soon. And then Steph ended up sending me Something is Killing the Children. This one is a graphic novel that I've just heard such great things about this one. It sounds so interesting. And this one, we follow these children in the sleepy town in the heart of America. I think this book is actually middle grade, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure it's middle grade. And it's about all these children who are like going missing in the small town. And then there's this mysterious stranger who arrives in their town and believes the children and claims to be the only one who sees what they can see. Her name is Erica Slaughter. She kills monsters. That is all she does, and she bears the cost because it must be done. So yeah, this one sounds like it's going to be really unique and really interesting. I've just heard such great things about this book over the years from friends. So so I'm really excited to finally get the chance to read it. Thank you, Steph. Abby ended up sending me Mad Honey. This is a book that I actually did read just at the end of last year. I read it right before. It was in my last reading vlog of last year. And this is a story about this mother and her son. And the son basically gets accused of murdering his girlfriend. And then we kind of follow as the mom has to deal with, like, I don't know, it's a unique perspective to follow the mom of a son who's being accused of like murdering his girlfriend. And this book does involve a lot of like courtroom scenes and different things like that. And this is one that I did enjoy. You know, I ended up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like this is a really powerful story. And I also do think if you're someone who enjoys those kind of like really intense courtroom scenes type of books, then I do think this would be something you would enjoy. Right, and then Alicia ended up sending me 2 books off my wish list. She sent me Love Light Farms, which this is a Christmas romance book that I've just been hearing such incredible things about. Like, I've been hearing about this from so many people in the romance community, just being absolutely obsessed with this. All I really know about it, it says Love Light Farms is a romantic comedy featuring a handsome, freckled data analyst, a messy, optimistic Christmas tree farm owner in a small town with the best hazelnut lattes on the East Coast. It just looks like it's gonna be super cute. I think this one does have a few different tropes in romances that I usually do enjoy. And even though I don't gravitate towards Christmas romance books very often, I always like crave at least like one of them every year, you know? So I feel like for this year, for this Christmas, this is definitely something I'm gonna be reading. And then she also sent The Summer of Broken Rules, which this one, as far as I know, is also a romance. This is one that I actually put on my list because a lot of people said that this book has a ridiculous amount of Taylor Swift references, because I think this author and like the main character are huge Swifties from what I've heard. Because even on the back here it says it's all fun and games until someone loses their heart, but like, isn't that from Wonderland? It's all fun and games till someone loses their mind. I don't know, but it says when Meredith Fox lost her sister Claire 18 months ago, she shut everyone out, but this summer she's determined to join the world again. And so I think it's about how she's, you know, trying to find her place back in the world after her sister died. Oof! This is gonna hit a lot harder than I imagined probably it would, but also isn't this cover just so stunning? Like, I'm really digging this cover. It looks so summery and so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, also on the back it says the entire family is gathering for a big summer wedding, and then it's about how she gets involved with one of the groomsmen. So like, again, I love romances that deal with weddings. I don't even know why, I just love the inclusion of a wedding in a romance book. Right, and then next up, Tara ended up sending me Creep by Jennifer Hillier, which is so exciting because Jennifer Hillier is an author that I've really enjoyed a lot of her books, and Creep is one of her backlist books that I've been wanting to get to. And this one sounds so interesting because we're following this psychology professor who's an expert on human behavior, and she begins an affair with a charming graduate student, Ethan. And then I think it's about how Ethan turns out to be a fucking creep, you know? Creep. It sounds like it's gonna be pretty freaking intense. Also, I love the size of this book. This book feels like it's kind of like smaller than the average paperback size, and I just really dig it. So thank you so much for sending this my way. And then Michelle recently just sent me Almond, which this is a book that I've been hearing so much about. This is actually a Korean author. We basically follow this young boy who has a brain condition that makes it hard for him to feel emotions like fear or anger. And it says everything changes when a shocking act of random violence shatters his world, leaving him alone and on his own. And this is a book that I actually have been really curious to read because it's highly recommended from Namjoon, you know, RM of BTS. It's like one of his favorite books, and I have been dying to read it because I'm hoping to do a video at some point this year of like reading RM's book recommendations, and so this would be at the top of that list. So thank you so much, Michelle. I can't wait to read this book. It sounds like it's gonna be something really special. And then Miriam ended up sending me Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus, and this is a book that I also just read at the beginning of this year. This is a historical fiction novel about this woman named Elizabeth Zott, who's a scientist and she's working in science, and it's kind of about, you know, a story about her hardships with being a woman working in STEM, especially in like the 1960s, the 1950s, like that's the time period we're taking place in here. But this was such a powerful book. It was my first 5-star that I had this year, and I just absolutely loved Lessons in Chemistry, like way more than I thought I would. This book is just so powerful. It's so feminist, but it also has so much to say about a number of different topics. Like there's a range of topics that this book covers that I just think it's so powerful, and Elizabeth Zott is like one of those characters who comes around once in a lifetime, you know? So thank you so much for sending this my way. I loved it so much. All right, and then the last little bit of books on this list are either books that were gifted to me from my family or books that I bought for myself. One of them, my mom got me Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe 10th Anniversary Edition, because my mom is an incredible human, and I think she saw that book shopping vlog where I mentioned how I really really wanted to get this book, but I didn't end up getting it, and she got it for me for my birthday. Aristotle and Dante is one of my favorite books of all time. I've read the book 3 times so far, and I definitely plan to reread it again this summer. And this is a gorgeous 10th anniversary edition. Like, I didn't even realize that they had this until I saw it in the bookstore recently, and I was like, oh my god, like that is stunning. Like, look at all this like gold, like foiling, or I don't know what you would call this, gold around the edges. And it's so beautiful. It's got the like red truck in the night sky picture that's on the main cover, and then you flip it open and like, wow, it's so beautiful. And look at that white, oh my gosh. And then it's also stunning because the end papers are like the edges here. See that? Let's have it focused. There we go. Bam. And then the back also has a really beautiful quote on it. I'm just so obsessed. Like, this cover, everything about it, like this edition is just so beautiful. So like, oh my gosh, thank you to my mom. Oh, this is gonna look beautiful on the bookshelves. I gotta have this one on display. And yeah, Aristotle and Dante is a young adult romance book. That's like one of my favorite books of all time. Aristotle is one of my most relatable characters of all time. And this one's just about these 2 boys who were living in Texas in the 1980s, and they're kind of, you know, growing up and coming of age. And then on my birthday, my sister got me so much manga, which is so freaking cool of her, and I'm so obsessed. She ended up getting me Love Nest Volume 1, which this one is a boys love manga, and this one involves like a roommates to lovers kind of scenario, which tends to be my favorite shit. So I cannot wait to read this one. And then she also gifted me Given Volume 1, which this is another boys love manga. This one also features like a boy band of some sort. I don't know too much about this one, but I've just heard really great things about this one over time, and so I'm so excited to finally give this one a shot. Oh my god, I might be reading this one very, very soon. And then she also got me Become You Volume 1, because this is one that I expressed interest in reading because it's the same author as Orange, which, you know, Orange, I'm obsessed with Orange, the manga, and this is from that same author. I think this one is also part of a series. This is Volume 1, and this one is about a high school musician with dreams of stardom, and then it's about how these 2 boys who are total opposites together might just create something amazing. I'm not sure if this one is a romance or not, or if it's just about these 2 boys who come together to make this band, but I just realized too, like, all of these are boy love mangas, and then also there's 2 that involve like bands. I don't know what is going on, but I'm so excited for all of these. And then Rachel also ended up getting me Soulmates, which this is a young adult romance novel that just looks so freaking cute. And in the title, it's spelt Seoul, like the city in South Korea, you know, Seoul, but it's like Soul Mates. It's so cute. This one just says, her ex-boyfriend wants her back. Her former best friend is in town. When did Hannah's life become a K-drama? Oh my gosh. And then how cute is this? Because it says that she's been trying to embrace more of her American side and shunning the Korean side of her Korean American identity to fit in America. But then it says someone who knows K-dramas so well that he's actually starring in one is Jacob Kim, her former best friend who she hasn't seen in years. He's on a family trip back to San Diego, and then they reconnect. Oh my gosh, it sounds freaking cute. I also love this cover. I love the green grassy look here on top. So cute. And then the last book that I got this month is one that I bought because it's Nana by Brandon Massey. And I bought this because this is actually the BookTube pick for the month of February. I'm going to be reading this book with some friends on my channel in the month of February with Jesse and Jan. And I'm so excited. This one's kind of like a paranormal horror pick. So it's kind of unique for the BookTube. We don't often read horror, and especially like paranormal horror for the BookTube. So I'm excited to do something a little different. And this one is about this woman who, you know, like her biological mother is someone that she never knew, and then one day she just kind of shows up, but then things are kind of shady and it doesn't seem right. And I'm so freaking excited to read this one for the BookTube next month. All right, so those are all of the things that I have hauled in the last month. I know it's excessive, it's so much, but I'm so grateful. You know, once again, I have such an amazing community of people here on the internet, and I just appreciate you all so freaking much. You made me feel so special on my birthday, and honestly, you always make me feel special, so thank you so much for that. I do have some other books that I have hauled, like that I've purchased for myself recently, but I can't show you them yet because they're for like a secret kind of fun video that I'm working on in the month of February. But I even have other books that I could have shown. Like, there are just so many books. I also, if you didn't notice this shirt, it's a Reputation Taylor Swift shirt that my sister also got me for my birthday because she's amazing. So yeah, let me know if you've read any of the books in this haul, or if there's any books in this haul that you think think that I would absolutely love that you think I should prioritize more than others. And also let me know if you've hauled any exciting things recently. Let me know all of that down below. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.